Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to race number 17 of the third season of the DRL Red Bull GT Series. After tonight's race, we're down to 6 races left to go before we find out who will be the drivers in the championship contention for the Red Bull GT Series. Those races will comprise of next week's race at Miami, which is Red Bull GT only. Oreo will take an off week. The following week's race at just saw it a second ago. The following week's race, that will be at Papyrus. That's when Oreo heads to Michigan. And we have Daytona, Loudon, Rockingham, North Carolina, and Phoenix to finish up the season here for season number 3. On the pole position is Andrew Williams in the number 15. He is 28th in the points. Has been a struggling season for him, alongside his Cody Smart in the 11. Cody Smart 3 spots gained to 27th in the points. Addison Peterson about to become the outgoing champion. She comes in this race 23rd in the points. And Zachary Fitzwater in the 43 dropped 2 spots down to 12th in the standings. Sebastian Palmer is the best of the rookie drivers as you look at the rest of the starting lineup for tonight's race here at Charlotte. As we're going to get these race cars rolling off. And let's go over the top 10 in the points presented by Golden Corral. Kyler Anderson took the points lead after Pocono last week. He leads by 12 points over T Noguera. As we're getting to Andrew Williams. Lane Aurora is the rookie points leader. She is third in the standings, tied with W Parrish. The catch is Aurora has been the victory lane twice, whereas Parrish has only been the victory lane once. Bradley Ream, 25 points back in 5th. Sebastian Palmer is 31 points back in 6th, tied with Chaz Farmer and T Mauser. Those two have not been the victory lane this season. Carlos Rodriguez as well in 9th. He is also tied 31 back, and 39 back is J Ard, completing the top 10. I do not remember if we raced here at Charlotte before. We did last season. And it was around this time last season. And the defending winner of this race, A Crenshaw, and she's in this field, believe it or not. Of course, that was when we had 20 laps. We're going to have 40 laps here tonight. As race number 17 for the Red Bull GT Series is underway, let's go racing, drivers. Andrew Williams still trying to find victory lane for the first time this season. I think we can safely say if he continues to have some poor finishes, that will probably take him out of the championship picture. Like I said, after tonight, we'll have 6 more races left to go. So he's more than likely in a must-win situation as Zachary Fitzwater goes to second. Zachary Fitzwater running in second. Was announced Fitzwater will be back next season along with his wife Henrietta Fitzwater. Henrietta's 15th in the points. Excuse me. Rookie Sebastian Palmer, 6th in the points table, still mathematically in the hunt for the championship. Reagan Whitlock making his second start. He made his debut last week at Pocono. And I just talked about the motorsports calendar. So as I said, tomorrow we head off to now. I said last week back at Pocono, I said the Oreo Cup Series are going to um, Germany. Well, apparently that's not going to happen because Germany kept crashing on me numerous times, and I decided that it was not going to work. So we're going to head off to New Zealand, which we're going to have a couple locals. The closest they will get to a home race. Zachary Fitzwater is looking for that race because that will be the closest he will get to a home race. Of course, Fitzwater from Australia. He will be seeing his godchild, Annie Thomas, who will try to attempt in that number 50 Team Amerivet machine. And also, we will see the darling Crystal Fontaine, who will be in this series full time in season 4. She is actually going to replace Summer Wagner. It was announced today. Andrew Williams in the number 15 machine. And the caution is out for the first time tonight. As we are going to race it back to the caution flag, Andrew Williams will lead us back to our first yellow. That happens on lap number 8 of this race. I believe we didn't have a caution last season. Dylan Van Dyke would be the reason for the caution. And speaking of the driver that Crystal Fontaine is going to replace, that would be Summer Wagner. Ari Springer was caught up in whatever this incident was. Looks like we had a 3-car incident there. Wagner, Van Dyke, and Springer. Of course, Ari's sister Callie will be racing. Will be attempting to qualify for New Zealand next week. Caution's out for the first time today here in the Red Bull GT Series race at Charlotte. Let's jump back and see what happened. And here's what happened. Looks like 3 wide. Nathan Murphy was 3 wide with the 2 ladies of Springer and Wagner. And looks like Ari was trying to give room to Nathan Murphy, but didn't realize the 98 was there, and it was too little too late. And unfortunately, Dylan Van Dyke, wrong place at the wrong time. That's a tough break for those 3 drivers involved. Ari Springer, this is her 6th start of the year. She's been in that ride ever since replacing the now banned Zachary Taylor in that ride. Summer Wagner comes in this race 20th in points, so she's been a bit of a free fall the last several weeks ever since her brother got banned from this series. And there's Dylan Van Dyke, who came in this race 19th in the points. I think we can safely say Dylan Van Dyke might have just kissed his championship hopes goodbye. But the caution is out for the first time today. Let's jump to the restart here at Charlotte. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 13 of 40. Will give us a total of 28 laps of racing to go. Andrew Williams, the leader. Zachary Fitzwater, second. Reagan Whitlock, third. Jackson Harrison in fourth. T Mauser, fifth. Sebastian Palmer, sixth. Josh Harmon, seventh. Addison Peterson, eighth. Elena Aurora, ninth. And Isaac Willis will complete the top 10. Isaac Willis is also another driver who will also try to attempt the race at New Zealand in the Oreo Cup Series coming up on Wednesday as we head to New Zealand. Drivers out after that incident, just the 2 drivers involved. That was Summer Wagner and Ari Springer. Summer Wagner, as I said, will finish the season off in the 98 before Crystal Fontaine moves in that ride. And Ari Springer, who will be back in that ride next season, the ride she's currently in, she will be attempting the race at Michigan in 2 weeks' time when the Oreo Cup Series returns from New Zealand. We have 40 drivers on track. All 40 of them are on the lead lap of the 42 that took the green flag tonight. And we are back to green here at Charlotte. And the caution's out for the second time tonight. That was a kind of a quick restart there. Andrew Williams leads us back to the line, and looks like Fitzwater was trying to pass Andrew Williams, but the yellow's out, so they'll slow down. Oh, big wreck! J Ard all crunched. So as Geisha Racing, Dylan Van Dyke, his day went from, or night gone from bad to worse. A Crenshaw, Jared Johnson. Lane Aurora, oh, Trinity Lee just got spun by somebody. Henrietta Fitzwater involved. Will Parrish. Cody Goforth. It's like Logan Williams got a piece of this incident. As what in the world is Luis Hernandez doing? I don't know. Sean Art's got damaged. So does Kyle Langland. And Chaz Farmer's come to pit road. Emma Kaiser got a piece of it. Courtney Lynn's coming to pit road. Who was that was just on pit road? Oh, Skylar Taylor's all torn up. Caution's out for the second time tonight. Let's unravel this caution. All right, let's see if we can try to unravel this one right here. Looks like Sebastian Palmer got turned by Addison Peterson. Also collected Elena Aurora. Aurora's going to get Brooke Pack and also collect Tatiana Noguera. That's, by the way, second in points, Tatiana Noguera. Skylar Taylor gets in the Tatiana Noguera, so does Samad Ozkan, and then the track's going to get really blocked up. There's Chaz Farmer, Kaiser, Carlos Rodriguez. We just had the big one. Who is that? Oh, one of the Mustangs goes upside down. Jared Johnson got jacked up. I believe that's A Crenshaw upside down in the 33. Can I confirm that? Yes is the answer. A Crenshaw, her sister's involved. And then we got to figure out who turned Trinity Lee around. Trinity Lee, and she got turned by Maddie Crenshaw there. Not sure what that was all about. It's like we got some tempers flaring between the 23 and the 36. A lot of cars involved in this one. We're going to have a lot of drivers out of this race as a result. As the yellow's out for the second time today. Bradley Ream got a piece of it as well. Let's jump to the restart here at Charlotte. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 18 of 20 as we're not even at the midway point of tonight's race. Andrew Williams still the leader. Fitzwater still second. Jackson Harrison third. Reagan Whitlock fourth. T Mauser now fifth. Josh Harmon sixth. Sebastian Palmer seventh. Isaac Willison eighth. Ninth Nathan Murphy. And Cody Smart completes the top 10. A Crenshaw is now one lap down in the process. Drivers out from this incident. Addison Peterson, Skylar Taylor, Jared Johnson out, J Ard, and Dylan Van Dyke. Those drivers are out of the race, and then they join Ari Springer and Summer Wagner, who have already gone behind the wall from our first yellow of the evening. So I can probably more than likely officially say that's going to mean we're going to be guaranteed a new champion in this series. Which also, if somebody tries to eject me for excessive raging or excessive celebration in the comments section, you're going to get in trouble with me. Just an FYI. Green flag back in the air. As here comes Zachary Fitzwater to the race lead. For anyone that doesn't know about the whole situation, I'll go ahead and explain this for anybody. I've already decided Season 4 is still going to go ahead as planned, as Jackson Harrison's going to go for the race lead. However, I am not going to allow drivers, well, with the possible exception of Cody Smart, Sean, and J Ard, just to name a few. I'm not going to allow anybody from a server that caused a lot of controversy, and the reason why Zachary Taylor got ejected from this series. I'm not going to allow them to get reserve rides moving forward, because I'm not going to continue the whole drama affair that I've been dealing with as I'm recording this race. I just want to give everybody an FYI. So, um, and I've and DRL officials have talked to me about this. We've agreed that, and because the reason I bring this up is because there was a driver that was going to come into this series next season, um, that was going to run in this series from a server that I recently left. And if anyone's saying it's from Stapleton's server, you're incorrect. It's a private server that I'm in with, a group of friends, you know, because, I appreciate everybody from the House of Games who's been supporting me um, recently, which I appreciate them. They will probably get reserve rights for this series next season. The server that I recently left, because of all the drama that's happened, I'm not going to give those people reserve rights, with the possible exception of Cody and Sean, because Cody and Sean has not given me any grief. They have agreed with me that they don't want to be a part of the drama, and I'm not going to force them to let them be a part of that drama. So, it's my discretion, for the reasons, and and I've already discussed this in the DRL Discord. So, um, and I'm not going to save the server's name because I don't need any more controversy. And for the driver who I recently banned from this series, this is not, or from this channel a second time. This is not the first time I banned him in the middle of the season. And I think you guys know which driver I'm talking about. If you're looking at the points, I think you know which driver I'm talking about. Because it's not the first time I've had to replace this person. And if you come across this video, you know who you are. Here's a hint: it's not Orman, for anyone asking. It's a certain person from another server, as Chaz Farmer is going a lap down. It's another server that I was recently in that gave me the controversial penalty. And like I said, as much as I want to say that server on here, I'm not going to, as looks like Cody Smart just got held up by Chaz Farmer, as here comes Reagan Whitlock to the race lead. But to go back to my point on the server I'm talking about, and like I said, it's none of the servers from the NR community. It's a private server that I want to say on here, but I'm not going to. And I think, and Cody Smart would agree with me, as Jackson Harrison battling with Zachary Fitzwater for second. And I think that's Isaac Willis right there. Yes, it is. Isaac's been having some good runs ever since he replaced the now banned Jared Underhill. Which, speaking of which, I'm not going to allow him in the allow him to be in a series anymore, even though he took part in the Craftsman Truck Series, which I think you know which driver I'm talking about. But Isaac Willis is doing very good in his limited starts in this series. Now, if he does sign up for this series in Season 4, I'd go ahead and bring this discussion up. If Isaac Willis does come back next season, and if he asks why he won't have an R next to his name for Season 4, if he does sign up, the fact that he's taking part in more than 7 Red Bull GT Series races, as that's Parrish and Hernandez going a lap down. And same deal goes to Reagan Whitlock. The fact that they're taking part in more than 7 Red Bull GT Series races this season no longer qualifies them for the Rookie of the Year honors for Season 4, which is a tough break, but they would love to build some chemistry on what they've learned so far. As there's Kyler Anderson in the 3. He comes into this race as the points leader. The good news for Kyler, the gal that was trying to run him down for the points lead, T Noguera, she is in the, as I'm trying to look for the 22, she's running in 23rd. And she came in this race second in the points as Fitzwater has retaken the race lead. And I've already talked about it on the channel of, you know, what's going to be acceptable from me and what's not going to be acceptable by me. Is, you know, I'm going to make sure, as we got a couple of lap cars here, that would be Kyle Langland and Trinity Lee. Langland's going to get out of the way. Trinity Lee just realized Fitzwater's there, so she's going to be wisely moving out of the way. Trying to be a courteous backmarkers. We got 5 to go. But to go back to my point, there's going to be some things, and I've already discussed, and I'll discuss it on a stream in the near future. Or if not, I've already discussed it on here. There will be things that will be acceptable and things will be not acceptable going forward on the channel. And, you know, that's why, you know, I'm going to make a lot of changes so that way we have the respect on the community as Reagan Whitlock goes to the race lead. That way we have a lot of respect for everybody. Everybody respects me. I respect you. And that's the way we're going to fall in line. And if there's people that don't want to respect me and all that, you know, and give me problems, then, you know, consequences are going to have to take place. So, and I'm not doing this to bash anybody as far as this is concerned, but I think it's important to know that, you know, I'm doing what needs to be done. So that way, you know, my channel will be a controversy-free channel for this year. And that's one of my goals for this year is Elena Aurora, Courtney Lynn, and Brooke Packett are the next cars to go a lap down. And we're coming to the white flag, oh, by the way. As Reagan Whitlock will get the white flag. One more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Reagan Whitlock not in the championship battle, sadly, because he came in the series very late, but we will see him back in this series next season in Season 4. As Reagan Whitlock, in his second Red Bull GT Series start of his career, comes off turn number 4, and Reagan Whitlock will win here tonight at Charlotte for his first career Red Bull GT Series win. And remember, Reagan Whitlock in the Foster Series, or no, in the Oreo Cup Series back in 2022, he made the playoffs. He got eliminated in the round of 12 and ended up 12th in the championship standings. So, what a great win for him in the 88. Even though he's not battling for the championship, he's just using these races as a test to get ready for next season. Cody Smart will get second, Jackson Harrison third, Zachary Fitzwater fourth, Nathan Murphy in fifth, Andrew Williams, Anthony Finelli, Kyler Anderson, T Mauser, and Sebastian Palmer will complete the top 10. Quiet run for Ricky Cervantes in 11th. Josh Harmon, Isaac Willis, Ingrid Pollard, and Samad Oskin will complete your top 15. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, we had 29 drivers finished on the lead lap. Brooke Packett was the last of those drivers. Trinity Lee, Kyle Langland, Will Parrish, Luis Hernandez, Chas Farmer all finished one lap down. Annie Crenshaw finished 2 laps down, as we had 35 drivers finish the race, and only 7 drivers did not reach the conclusion of the race. Addison Peterson, Skylar Taylor, Jared Johnson, who, by the way, will be back in this series in Season 4. Oh, by the way. Jesse Art, Dylan Van Dyke, Ari Springer, and Summer Wagner all out of this race. From our 2 cautions we had here in this evening's event. So I can tell you the points are going to be really shaken up heading into next week's race at the track we were just at for the Oreo Cup Series a couple of weeks ago. That would be Homestead Miami Speedway. I want to remind everybody before I sign up, this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the DRL and the Blue Hedgehog TV, and any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the DRL and the Blue Hedgehog TV is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and DRL want to thank you fans for your continued support on tonight's race. And we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. And if you enjoyed tonight's race here at Charlotte, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the Blue Hedgehog and the PCS Array crew today. In case you're not aware, we will have a new name change on this channel, but I will still be doing the races for Season 4, just a FYI. So don't freak out. It's just a rebranding process, which I will be doing that at the end of the Red Bull GT Series, as well as the Oreo Cup Series and the other series that I've already recorded for this year. But anyway, we've shown your full finish results. Your point standings are down the description heading into next week's race at Homestead. It's just the Red Bull GT Series drivers at Homestead. The Oreo Cup Series will take an off week, but they have their race coming up on Wednesday. Reminder, because of the time difference, it'll be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for go or go home qualifying, and then they will be on track at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for their 10th race on the season, and that road course could be unpredictable in terms of the championship. So I hope you'll tune in for that. But we'll see you guys then, and we'll see you guys next week for Homestead Miami Speedway. Until then, IBD DeVoe signing off. Good night from Charlotte. Thank you for watching another broadcast of the DRL Red Bull GT Series on the PCS Array Sports and Gaming channel in its final season in 2025. And which we appreciate 15 years as the best center racing around the world since 2017. See you next week from beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway.